though.
They treat you right?
It ain't the first time I've had a gun to my head, John. You're forgetting your marriage proposal.
Very fun.
No, they learned pretty quick what would happen if they laid a finger on me.
Son of a bitch.
It wasn't them or being there. I didn't care about that. I've been in far worse situations. It was the waiting. I didn't know if you was coming back.
Of course I was coming back.
You were only supposed to be gone for a couple of days.
It took longer than I thought. The only thing Bill and Dutch was ever any good at was not getting caught.
I started thinking you'd gone back to them.
You came. Thank you so much. We lost the entire harvest.
Miss McFarland, I'd like you to meet my wife, Abigail.
Oh, ain't you quite the gentleman all of a sudden? It's a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Marston.
Likewise. Thank you for saving my husband's life. And for teaching the miserable goats manners, among other things.
I didn't teach him anything. I know better than to try to change a man. You should meet my father.
Oh, people can change, Miss McFarland. John and I have to believe that more than anybody.
This is a decent first harvest for you, John. You should be proud. That's good land you got there.
How are you feeling, Mrs. Marston? From what your husband told me, it must have been awful for you.
I've been through worse, and I knew he'd be back before too long. He can't cook a meal to save his life.
Abigail, in my darkest hours, when I was most homesick, just the thought of one of your rat meat stews kept me pushing forward.
Well, about as amusing as a weeping saddle sore, ain't he, Miss McFarland? If you're gonna start yammering about women's work, John, I'd say you might be in the wrong company.
I'd say so, too.
I never felt so outnumbered.
Ma'am?
So that was the famous Bonnie.
That was her, all right.
She's pretty.
She's normal, like I said.
Well, you always wanted to be a rancher. I'd have thought she'd be just your thing. The perfect rancher's wife, if I ever saw one.
I already got a rancher's wife.
I'm only teasing. I like her, and I'm glad she saved your life. Most of the time, anyway.
The McFarlands are good people.
She did blush better than a shepherd's sunset when she saw you, though.
I have that effect on women.
You clearly had one too many blows to the head.
You ain't wrong about that, Mrs. Marston.
That's quite a ranch they got there.
That'll be us someday. As soon as we get back on our feet.
I don't know, John. How many times can we start again? An outlaw and a working girl. We ain't exactly farmers.
We are now. Forget that life. It's over.
Do you really believe that?
We have to. It's the only way we'll ever have a future.
The life we led, that doesn't go away. It's never over. You think those government men are just gonna leave us alone now?
The old gang's dead. I did what they asked.
And that's it? A life of crime forgiven?
We're back together, ain't we?
Until they decide you owe them something else.
Sometimes I think I was the stupid one for believing I could get out. Maybe Dutch, Bill, and Javier were just being honest with themselves.
You ain't perfect, John, and I sure ain't. But you're better than they are. Than they were. Where are you going? Isn't this the way home?
Maybe we can't change. But we gotta try, for Jack's sake. Even if we have to start again 100 times. It's better than going back to what we were. How's Jack doing?
Angry, upset. He's been through a lot.
I hope he's gonna be all right.
It's gonna take time. For a while, his world was safe, normal even. Then it got turned upside down again.
You ain't saying much about it.
I've tried to talk to him, but how do you explain any of it? What do you say when he asks about Uncle Bill and Uncle Dutch? They were family when he was a little boy.
He hides away in those books of his.
Wouldn't you? It ain't like the real world's done him many favors. He's just been kidnapped. He grew up with the gang. That's no life for a boy.
We did our best to protect him.
Come on, John. He saw things no boy should see.
Well, now we got a chance to make it right.
We did good today, John. I guess I better go fix us something to eat.